I'm going to read you a winter story called The Mitten. The Mitten by Jan Brett. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. He wanted white mittens. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. Why do you think never find it? Because snow is white and the mittens are white, so it'll would blend in, be hard to find. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Can you see it? It's really small right there. Oops, he accidentally dropped it. I think the grandma kind of knew that was going to happen. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. So it's kind of far away, but you can see there's the mitten and there's the mole, and the mole's going in. And then it shows an animal over here. A rabbit. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. She stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. So now they're both sharing the mitten, but I see another animal coming. Next, a hedgehog came sniffing along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered in prickles, they made room. Now we're gonna get an owl, looks like. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, the big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Talons are these sharp-looking claws at the end of his feet there. Oh, now we're gonna see another animal. That animal is a badger. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. That means they're not very happy about this. There was no room left. But when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumbs up. Like, okay, fine. See, his claws are those diggers, and they're scared of those, so they're like, all right, I guess we have to make room again. But now a fox, and the animals are getting bigger. I don't know if the fox is gonna fit in there. Oh no. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. They've got really sharp teeth. Now a bear, there's no way a bear is going to fit in there, right? No way. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the Mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? The Mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged too many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. I really don't. Oh, now just a little mouse? Oh, okay. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Don't think I would do that. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the Mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. That little mouse did it. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost Mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. So you could see it because it's like floating back down. As he ran to catch the snow-white Mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. But look at her looking at the mittens. One of them is normal size and the other one is just stretched out, all huge, because all the animals went into that one. Isn't that silly? Okay. Do you think this story is real or make-believe? It is definitely make-believe because there's no way all those animals would even do that at all. Now, what is the setting of the story? The setting is where a story takes place. The setting of this story is happening outside in the snow, right? Also, who are the characters? Well, we had quite a few animals. The people characters would be Nicky, the boy, and Baba, the grandma. And then we have several animals that tried to fit into the Mitten, right? A hedgehog and a badger and a rabbit and a fox. Lots of animals, a bear, a fox. Oh, I already said a fox. And then the mouse at the very end is the one that made the bear sneeze and everybody went flying everywhere, right? And then there's also a beginning, a middle, and an end of this story. At the beginning of the story, when I first start reading the story to you, the grandma or Baba is asking Nicky what color mittens he would like, and he wants white mittens. In the middle of the story, Nicky loses one of the mittens and a whole bunch of animals go into it. At the end of the story, the little mouse gets on the bear's nose and sneezes and sends the animals everywhere. And Nicky finds his mitten again and brings it back, but it's all stretched out. All right. Hope you enjoyed the story.